Ray was the kind of man everyone admired. A hard-working father, a dependable friend, and the person who never seemed to falter. But beneath the surface, Ray carried a silent burden. He never spoke about his worries or fears, believing it was his duty to shoulder everything alone. Society had taught him that men must be strong, stoic, and unshakable, that vulnerability was a weakness. He believed his worth was measured by his ability to endure hardship without complaint. For years, Ray ignored the tightness in his chest, the constant headaches, and the sleepless nights. "It's nothing," he would tell himself. He chalked up his discomfort to the demands of work and family. When his wife noticed his frequent headaches and urged him to see a doctor, he brushed it off. "I'm fine," he replied, dismissing her concern with a wave. He didn't need help. After all, men were supposed to bear their burdens alone. But what Ray didn't realize was that this approach, though widely accepted in society, was taking a serious toll on his health. Studies have shown that men who suppress their emotions and avoid addressing stress are at higher risk for heart disease, high blood pressure, and other stress-related conditions. The mental health implications are even more severe. Bottling up feelings of frustration, sadness, or fear doesn't make them disappear. It only increases anxiety, depression, and the risk of substance abuse. Long-term neglect of both emotional and physical health can even lead to a shorter lifespan. One evening, while playing with his kids, Ray suddenly felt dizzy and collapsed. His family rushed him to the hospital, terrified. After numerous tests, the doctor came in with a grim expression. Ray was diagnosed with severe hypertension and early signs of heart disease, conditions that had been exacerbated by chronic stress and emotional suppression. He had been running on empty for far too long. His body had reached its breaking point. As Ray lay recovering in the hospital, the doctor said something that would change his life forever. "Ray, your body isn't a machine, and emotions aren't meant to be locked away. You need to take care of yourself, for your sake, and for those who love you." That moment was a wake-up call for Ray. He realized that his attempt to appear invincible had only made him vulnerable to far greater harm. The doctor's words echoed in his mind as he began to recover. Ray began to see the bigger picture. Men are often conditioned to ignore their health, to avoid talking about their emotions, and to endure hardships in silence. This harmful stereotype of masculinity is deeply ingrained in many cultures and can be incredibly isolating. It suggests that to be strong, men must shut off their feelings, ignore their well-being, and carry on no matter the cost. But research shows that this approach doesn't lead to strength. It leads to suffering. Men who suppress their emotions are more likely to experience mental health struggles like depression and anxiety. Moreover, studies have found that men, on average, tend to have shorter lifespans than women, and emotional suppression is believed to be one of the contributing factors. The inability to express vulnerability can also hinder the development of close relationships, further exacerbating feelings of isolation. Determined to change, Ray took small but crucial steps toward healing. He began opening up to his wife about his struggles, admitting that he didn't have all the answers and that he needed her support. For the first time in years, he allowed himself to express his feelings, sharing his fears and anxieties without the shame he once felt. He also began seeing a therapist, where he learned tools to manage his stress and cope with the overwhelming emotions he had long buried. In addition to seeking emotional support, Ray took his physical health more seriously. He scheduled regular checkups and followed his doctor's advice to manage his blood pressure. He even took up yoga to help reduce stress and improve his mental clarity. It wasn't easy, but Ray learned that taking care of himself wasn't a selfish act. It was a necessary one. By putting his health first, he was becoming a better father, a better husband, and a better friend. Over time, Ray became a new man, not weaker, but stronger for embracing his vulnerability. He realized that being honest about his emotions didn't make him less of a man. It made him a better one. By acknowledging his struggles and seeking help, he not only improved his quality of life, but he also set an example for his children. They saw their father as someone who could be strong and emotional, who could face challenges and still ask for support. Ray also joined a men's support group, where he connected with other men who had faced similar challenges. It was comforting to know he wasn't alone in his journey. The group taught him valuable lessons about the importance of emotional expression and seeking help when needed,